everybody, and welcome to my first impressions of Black Ice. Black Ice is a game by Garrett Cooper, which is it's like a cyberpunk first-person shooter that has, like a hacking theme to it as well. And it's got a bit of, some RPG elements chalked in there, right on top. Really, this game actually has a hell of a lot to it. It's got a bunch of different mechanics here and there, and currently it's free to play. So it's in a free-to-play alpha while it's in its development stages, so you should all check it out. It's got this nice little banner for when it was in the top 100 for IndieDB, which is really a freaking huge accomplishment. So very, very, very happy for Garrett because he made a really, really good game here. But let's just go ahead and log in so you guys can get a feel for this. This is, in fact, as you might be able to tell, or not just tell, but guess from the visuals, this is a Unity game, which, in my opinion, is always a huge bonus. I think I've said this in the past, but I'm a really big fan of Unity. It's a very, very good engine. So, as you see, we're starting off right here, kind of in this weird world. I picked up, like, that weird question Mario Kart block right there, and that actually gives us an item. So if we pull up our inventory here, we could check out what that... This is our hub world. It's not really looking like it is going to eventually, or once we actually get into the game. We're kind of in the tutorial right here. But let's actually just describe our screen. Standard stuff. Obviously there in the bottom left-hand corner, above the thing that says RAM, 30 out of 30, 100%, we have our health bar, standard thing for first-person shooters, as long as it's not the regen style. But then that equipment wear, that's actually like a huge piece of the gameplay. It works in regards to, that's, how would I describe it? Like, this is where you set up your moves. Like, it's kind of like if any of you have ever played Mass Effect on the PC. You've got, like, your left-click slot, your right-click slot, but then you have all your extra equipment that you will get later on, which are bound to your number keys. So, for example, and the really nice thing about this game is that you can adjust them appropriately, and I'm actually going to do it right away for this item right here. And actually, let's show it off as an example with our gun as well, or our main shooting weapon. Right now it says left click, so we just press down left click or hold it alternately to shoot. Or if we wanted to, I don't know why you would ever do this with the main gun, but if we want to set it to number 3, then you could just press the number 3 on your keyboard and that'll work to fire it. So that's one really cool thing, and honestly one of my favorite small details about this game, because it makes your setup for how you want the game to be and how you play it to be very, very customizable. And as you get more and more weapons, it does feel more and more like a Mass Effect when your like special abilities are put on this kind of hotbar or whatever you'd want to call it. So let's go ahead and see what we've got here. We've got our main gun, we've got sprint and jump. All of those take RAM. Basically, all of our main abilities take RAM, which is the thing in the bottom left-hand corner, which is basically like our energy that counts for basically everything we do. It requires energy to sprint, although sprinting is relatively nice because it only takes one initial piece of energy, and then just kind of sticks, at like 73, for example, for the time being. Jumping takes RAM, shooting takes RAM. Shooting is the worst one for taking RAM, though, because obviously when you get into big fights, you're gonna be doing that a lot. And, then here's where the hacking comes in. We have this item called an icebreaker right here. That's what we're gonna use for starting up our hacks. And basically, you see there's this kind of big ol' monolith statue thing just chilling right there. Basically all we do, initiate the hack, and then we get into our main combat phase of the game right here, where we get this weird border and all these cubes that these enemies will start spawning on. So basically what the hacks consist of is... Oh god, stay away from me, Mr. Spider facehugger thing. Freaking hate those enemies. For the most part, they're not all that bad, but they can kind of jump on you and really mess with you and all that jazz. But anyways, as you saw, basically, we just got a couple of waves of enemies, and then once we defeated all of those, we get a new item for every, like, mission you beat or corporation, as they're supposed to represent, that you hack. You get, an extra item, and as you get farther and farther, you'll actually unlock more and more. Now, here's one of the RPG elements, besides our inventory, of course. This is very RPG-esque, in my opinion. But in addition to that, we actually level up. We gain experience and all that jazz, and we have to decide what we want to level up individually. This is another one of my favorite parts of the game, I must say, because it really lets you specify how you want to build your character. You could either work on hack speed, which I'll talk about in a bit. You could work on getting like your damage capabilities up, or you could do what I like to do and focus on more of the utility stuff. My favorite one is getting the RAM return rate up, or its recharge moving faster, because as you get better equipment, it's gonna take more and more RAM as time goes on, and that's gonna make it very, very hard for you to keep using your weapons in fights. So the reason why I wouldn't want to take an attack damage or anything like that is because we're going to be taking, is because we're not gonna be able to fire it too much unless we have the RAM for it. So of course we have those two options. You would think I have the two options to either go for like the quicker regenerating RAM or just max my pool. I prefer to have it regenerate quicker. So here we are. This is our main world for the game. I called the past place like the hub world, but that's actually kind of like the tutorial stage for it. This is our main world, so this is where we're gonna chill for the most part. And all of these big cubes are different corporations that we can decide to hack, and obviously each one has a level to it. But the really cool thing is that this doesn't always seem to be the case, but for the most part, as you could see with this example right here, the size of the building also represents how dangerous it is, or the difficulty for trying to hack it. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to go through like hacking the smaller corporations, working your way up towards the big ones till you can eventually take on Finality Incorporated. Frickin' hack difficulty level 500. I have not even gotten close to that in my play so far, and I've played this quite a lot because I've had a lot of fun with it. So let's initiate this so we can actually kind of show off a little bit of the details with the combat. Oh god, we actually have one of those shooting guys right there. Those guys are one of my least favorites. At least with the spiders, you can run away from them more easily without these guys shooting you. But yeah, so basically... Oh shoot, I forgot to talk about the timer before that went away. When you initiate a hack, it's not that you have to kill all the enemies. There's actually a time limit. Like, let's go ahead and start this one. And I'm actually going to pull up, that's a bad screen for me to pull up. Let's just pause the game to to have this hack timer show up. Whenever you hack, it's actually more based on the time that the hack takes rather than number of enemies you defeat. And enemies will keep on spawning. They'll continue to spawn until that hack timer is ran out, at which point it becomes more simple and we just have to kill all the remaining ones. So it's an interesting thing, and it's really balanced in a nice way in that regards, because that does make you... It does give you really big incentive to want to invest in the hack speed up, because then, theoretically, what you could do is you could just run around in circles trying to avoid the guys, or if your hack speed is so good, you might only have to deal with one small wave of enemies rather than having to deal with like 2 minutes worth. Actually, I don't want to do that. 2 minutes worth like you might have to otherwise. This is one thing right here. I see this very, very often. Remember that the game is in alpha, so a lot of things are sure to change, but this is one graphical glitch right here that I've seen all the time in playing the game. Happens whenever you get rid of those buildings or, little, I don't know, structures or whatever. So, but you know, it's a very minimal thing, not all that bad. There's a second one right there. Let's go ahead and pick up our item, though. Ooh, high jump. That's pretty cool. So basically, oh, I also want to show off the disc, because the disc is wonderful. One thing that's really cool, and this is another kind of RPG element of the game, I suppose, is that, actually, this is more Borderlands-y. You pick up weapons that all have different stats. You can't get ones with equal stats and stuff like that. But, you know, you pick up new weapons and you get to check out, like, how effective they are and stuff like that. Like, we got this new high jump, which can replace our normal jump. It'll take more RAM, I'm pretty sure. RAM used 4. Yeah, this one uses 2 RAM. But it'll be super nice to get the extra jump. But then, even better, we get the, like, passive bonuses as well. Like, this one actually increases our hack speed by 11%, which is very, very nice. Also our loot find, which is cool, but I don't treasure the loot find nearly as much. And speaking of influences in the game, you guys can almost certainly tell the Tron influence right here. But we actually, for doing the tutorial, we got one of my favorite weapons in the game, known as the disc. This one I have as the right click right now. So if I right click, throw out that weird disc thing right there. I don't know why, I just really like this weapon. It's so cool looking how it has this boomerang effect, but it totally is like 100% Tron with those weird memory discs that they use or whatever. I've actually barely ever used the mine, so let's actually go ahead and place a mine right there. Does it blow up on me? That's the question. What if I shoot it? Ah, no it doesn't. Okay, so let's initiate this hack and see if we can utilize that weapon, because like I said, did we just kill something with it? Oh god! Apparently placing it on enemies when you're like standing over them may not be wise, but it actually certainly is a lot of fun, seeing as it kind of rocket jumps you into the air. Well, let's actually focus on handling these guys the right way. And I might actually initiate another fight right away, because there's another thing I want to mention with them. One cool detail, you might be noticing this weird circle around it that has like the ones and zeros, like the binary language or whatever. Really cool thing about that is it kind of has like a sumo wrestling kind of effect to it, because basically what happens is it functions as a boundary line for you doing the hack, and if you step out of it, please let me step out of it, the hack gets cancelled. That can be very, very irritating, because there are a lot of enemies but irritating in a cool gameplay way, because there are a lot of enemies that can push you back, so sometimes you'll be like 75% the way through like a really hard encounter fighting a lot of enemies, and you're like, oh man, I almost beat this really tricky hack, but then someone just pushes you off the boundary line, or even worse, you accidentally step off on your own, and then you have to start it all over again. Like it's a really cool thing from a gameplay perspective, but it can be like absolutely enraging in some situations, I must say. Which is super cool though. Ooh, plasma ball, that's another interesting weapon. It does have a higher DPS than our noob cannon, so let's go ahead and swap to that. References all the way in this game, and I love them all. Like, this is one of my favorite ones for the sprint. If you look at the bottom, it always says, "Fly, you fool!" Like, best quote of all time. There's a ton of them. What was that clicking sound? I have no idea what that's... Oh, that's probably just referencing, like, a bomb ticking? I'm not entirely sure. Not everything has references, though. Does the laser have one? No, it doesn't. The machine gun does not. So let's... Oh, that's actually one of the sniper weapons. I always have to read the description of them, because I always kind of forget. Because then maybe the noob cannon would actually be better. I mean, it is still a higher DPS, but there are a lot of weapons that I prefer, like the shooting mechanic, more than others. Yeah, this one's a lot slower, but I presume a lot more powerful, seeing as it's a sniper. But we do have a more powerful disc, so let's go ahead and swap over to that. And we might as well show off the shop. I don't think I have nearly enough money to buy anything. I might be able to buy a couple of things. But the solid color buildings, unlike the ones that just have the colored rims, those are shops in this game. And whenever you, left click on them, you can buy and sell whatever you want. Ooh, a las gun. Its DPS is 85. That thing is super good. Hopefully they have a really cheap las gun, because that's my favorite weapon in this game. 37, I think we'll be able to afford that once we sell all these. So there are 2 ways to sell things, as far as I know. Actually, technically 3 probably. You can drag and drop, you can shift click, correct? Yes, you can indeed shift click. Or if you want to be quick, you got a lot of stuff in your inventory, you could just sell the entire inventory like that, and that works very, very well. Let's buy the cheapest las gun you have, my good sir, and I'll trade it in for that thing. I want to keep the disc because the disc is cool. Wait, what the hell happened? Could I not afford it? 37 bit creds. Why? Oh, probably just because the space was occupied. That's silly of me. So let's go ahead and sell that. We can sell our proximity mine as well. I don't really use those very much, so I probably don't know quite how effective they are, but they... Basically, my weapon of choice for the most part is this, this laser gun right here, because it's so damn awesome. Ah, perfect timing! You guys might have noticed that change in, the music. This is a main thing of your gameplay. This game actually has a stalker in it. If you guys don't know what a stalker is, It's very much what it sounds like it would be. Basically, there's some evil presence. Oh shoot, there he is. There's some evil presence lurking around the map who's gonna be trying to follow you, and his only goal is to take you down and be a big dick about things. This is the shark. Oh god! Oh, he's too powerful! Almost killed us in one hit! And we have no way to heal ourselves, so we're almost certainly gonna die. I'm just gonna try to show him off here. As you can see, he pretty much just wants to be a big dongleberry about the situation and ruin our plans just by flying around, shooting down like Hail Mary Hellfire missiles at us. So you can kill him. Obviously, we failed there and get our "you have died" screen right here. But he is. Oh god, we lost so many bit creds. Not many in like the whole scheme of things, but for starting out, 159 is quite a lot. Do you lose your full inventory of No, you don't. So, okay. That's something I actually wasn't sure of, whether or not you lose everything. Oh no! He's still lurking! Run! Run! Usually, unless he really gets the jump on you, he's not all that hard to evade. But obviously, if he gets too close to you, you can be put in quite a rough situation. So let's go ahead and do another hack. I don't think there's too much more to show off in regards to this game, so we'll probably just keep on fighting guys right here, showing off the power of the las gun. I freaking love the las gun so much. It's a really, really glorious weapon in my opinion. Its range really sucks at the beginning, but if you just get a couple of like range increasing items, not increasing, range increasing items, then really it's maybe even OP in some situations, I suppose. I probably should use the las gun and the disc in synergy, because it makes you look like such a badass using dual weapons and stuff like that. What did we get right here? Just another icebreaker. The icebreakers are always disappointing to me because they have huge weight, you know? It's just one of those things where I'm always an active benefits guy whenever I play games like this. Like for example, whenever I do play Borderlands, I always get the things that look really cool rather than actually caring about the passive things. Like, even if they're better, I'm all about the looks, you know? This is one interesting thing I noticed. If we're gonna be talking about things that look a little bit wonky, I don't know if this is intentional, but the big obelisk, the Finality Incorporated, it seems to actually glow and become more visual when it's in your peripheral vision. Like, I noticed this first when I was like really far away from it so that I could barely see it. But yeah, like this is where you can really tell the difference. When you look to the side, that thing just glows. Who knows, maybe that is a gameplay thing, maybe, because sometimes I do worry about getting lost in this world and being like, man, how am I gonna find the finality once I actually need to get to that point? So maybe that's actually done on purpose to make sure that you always have your eye on it. I wouldn't be surprised if it is somewhat of a, maybe not a glitch, but like more of a quirk, you know? So some things that aren't intended I like to call or consider quirks rather than actual glitches or anything like that. But let's talk about the game. As I mentioned already, it is in its free alpha form right now. Why don't we start a little fight to keep things engaging while I talk about this. As I mentioned, it's in its free alpha right now, so if you're at all interested in this game, and it has been so fun and very, very difficult, like, at the beginning, like, it's interesting in regards to its difficulty because it's a game where you really need to manage the difficulty yourself, you know? Like, you need to kind of keep track of what level you are and how good your weapons are, and what did we get right here? Ooh, the teleport move. Let's also just, like, show that off. But like, you kind of have to keep control of the gameplay yourself, because like there's been times when I've been playing this and I've been like, man, this game is super easy. But that was really only because I kept on doing low difficulty hacks, you know? You have to have a good eye and a good thought plan, or that's such a weird way to word it, I don't know. But you have to have a good idea in mind for how good you are in regards to what hacks you can complete. Because there's been plenty of cases where I've, like, done, like, a couple level 4s, and then I'm like, I could probably take on a level 113. No way! Still not anywhere close to that point, more like a 12. I think we could handle a 12 right now, though, so let's go ahead and do that while I continue to talk. But yeah, this game, as I was saying, it's an early alpha and free alpha, so I'll put a link to to its website where you can pick it up in the description below. Man, that guy was beefy. But it will not be free in future developments. I was talking to Garrett about it, and he was telling me that apparently the plan as of right now, and of course anything could change in the future, is that he was thinking once multiplayer gets implemented, I have to say a mini tangent right here, multiplayer in this game would be absolutely glorious. But once multiplayer is implemented, he is planning on having it at a $5 release, which I think is absolutely worth it, 100%. Even for the stage it's at right now, I could understand picking this up for $5, but since it's free, it's an absolute steal, I would say. But then from future developments from then onwards, he was saying that the price could raise as more and more gets added to the game, which I also think is very, very reasonable. And a model that we see a heck of a lot nowadays. Can I actually climb this? Nah, it doesn't look like I can warp further onto this building, which is a little bit sad. Maybe if I swap to the jump, I can actually climb this. Just ignore me right now, guys. Oh, yeah! Yes! Oh man, I'm a 2-year-old, but oh goddamn, I'll have to try to climb one of those things later. But yeah, this is Black Ice. Actually, I gotta say, I could not recommend this enough right now, because once again, it is absolutely free. At least the build that I am playing right now. So go ahead and check it out for sure. I'm sure you guys will all have a lot of fun with it, and obviously, I'll be sure to put a link to the description below. For old time's sake, why don't we go ahead and try to hack Finality Incorporated when we just close off here, see how things go. Oh shoot, that's actually one other thing I want to show. Oh god, that thing's huge! That thing probably will have killed me in one hit. I actually have one more thing I want to show, now that I think about it, so I apologize for that. Just a really cool, kind of subtle animation thing. Whenever you hack, you've got this nice weird white cube that keeps on putting the binary language down as it gets closer and closer towards the end of the line. And that actually coincides, as one would imagine, with the hack timer right down here. Or at least coincides pretty damn well with it. So that's just one small, subtle detail to this game that I really appreciate and like a lot. But, oh god, stay away from me, dudes. I do not like you or any of your shenanigans. That guy's probably the last one. Yep. Might as well just check to see if we got something unique here. Just a sniper rifle. Not all that exciting. But anyways, I was trying to start closing it off before, and I, like, got sidetracked, like, 2 or 3 times there. Silly of me. But, yeah, once again, I'll put the links to where you could pick this up in the description below. Definitely check it out 100%. It's super fun. And I'll be sure to keep my eye on the future progression of this game, as I think all of you should as well. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and or subscribing if you have not. I am the EggScrambledGamer, and I will see you all next time.